How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Guts Clout Carnage, the show where we dissect power with the guts it takes to call it out, the clout people lose themselves in chasing it, and the carnage it leaves behind in the streets, online, and in the quiet moments where people realize the world isn't as simple as they were told. My name is Siphon, and before we dive into the mental battlefield today, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe, drop a like, and comment your thoughts as we go. This show grows because of thinkers like you who exist and that are not bots, like, well, most of the internet. So thank you. Today we're not talking tanks and trenches, we're talking the quiet wars. The ones fought in language, perception, and that glowing rectangle you willingly stare into like it's whispering secrets about your destiny. Spoiler alert, it whispers, but mostly nonsense, so I don't know how much you're gonna take from that. The modern battlefield isn't, land at this point. It's mind space. And the troops, who are they? You could ask, you could say it's the governments, corporations, and algorithms wearing hoodies instead of uniforms. Now, as we always do over here at Guts Clout Carnage, it's that time. Let's grab our coffee, let's grab our OJ, let's get comfy, let's turn that volume up, and let's get into the show. Every nation sells mythology like it's Black Friday on patriotism, if that even makes sense. Wars don't start with bullets, they start with stories. We hear honor, duty, threat, heroism. Behind the curtain, economics, resources, ideology, fear management, influence. These are all things that take place. Vietnam, fighting communism or maintaining dominance. The public pitch was stop communism from spreading. In the private pages, the US wanted control in Southeast Asia, and it was basically a Cold War chess square. At least Vietnam was. Vietnam wasn't about rice paddies, it was about global posture. A signal to the world, don't test the West. Except the war dragged, the enemy didn't break, and the cameras didn't die. Television, a brand new battlefield, turned victory parades into body bags. Public trust cracked open like a dropped iPhone. Governments learned a lesson: never lose control of the narrative again. So what followed? Embedded journalism, language control, strategic communication. We sanitized war not to be humane, but to stay believable. In Korea, the Forgotten War, it was unforgettable motive. The Korean War wasn't just defending the South. It was the first big stage of the Cold War. Capitalism versus communism in live action. The US didn't fight for Korea as much as they fought for the future map of global power. Korea became a message to Moscow and Beijing. We're willing to bleed. We rarely talk about the Korean War because it didn't deliver a clean ending. No parade, no cinematic, mission accomplished, just an armistice and a split nation still reverbing today. Iraq and the Persian Gulf, where oil and fear shook hands basically. The Gulf War in the early 90s Iraq invades Kuwait, the US steps in. The narrative was protect freedom, stop aggression. Subtexts protect global oil supply lines and geopolitical leverage. Then the sequel, Iraq in 2003, with the whole weapons of mass destruction. That didn't exist. At least the weapons didn't exist. $1 trillion war sold like a limited edition sneaker. Urgent, patriotic, absolutely essential. Except it wasn't. Saddam was brutal, sure, but the US wasn't playing savior. They were playing strategist. Oil, power, projection, military bases, maintaining Middle East dominance. That was, the whole playbook. And it's propaganda when the slogan is shorter than the truth. Freedom fits on a bumper sticker. Geopolitical multipolar oil security stabilization through preemptive regime change. Not really. So the narrative of rescue, but the reality was maintenance of an empire in the era of media spin. If you're still here, please go ahead, drop a comment if you ever sat in history class thinking, why do the reasons for war always fit conveniently on posters? Have you ever thought about that? The war on words, basically swords become semantics, tanks became talking points. We don't fight over land, we fight over definitions. Freedom, security, democracy, threat. These words stretched like gym bands until they snap and hit everyone in the face. Political linguistics become a weapon. You don't silence dissidents, you rebrand them. Terrorist, enemy combatant, misinformation agent. Once social media became the operating system of society, language turned into software. Moral codes became push notifications. Narratives updated like firmware patches. And while you're scrolling thinking you have free will, your dopamine is getting waterboarded by suggestion loops. Algorithms don't care about truth. They care about engagement. Emotional caffeine shots, basically. You ever catch yourself arguing online like you're auditioning for CNN or Fox? Feels like people are literally downloading ideology like it's Call of Duty content packs. And the funniest part, sometimes the bots sound more reasonable than the actual humans in the comment sections. Oh, once again, let me know what you think about that. Now, what is all of that? What does that all, do? Gives you an illusion of choice. Power doesn't need agreement, only attention, and that's the trick. You think choosing left or right is the rebellion. That's like arguing over pizza toppings while the restaurant owner steals your wallet. We live in a curated conflict economy at this point. Polarization is profitable, division is scalable, platforms turn activism into branding, and we're fighting injustice through hashtags, ad revenue, and merch drops, basically. Now, the system figured out, the perfect hack, basically. Let people feel rebellious inside the playground walls, and you're swinging on the jungle gyms yelling about revolution, but that exhaustion you feel, it's not weakness. It's the gravity of the systems designed to drain you. Detox, relapse, scroll, repeat. Digital raccoon behavior. The war on drugs versus the war on terror. Basically two masks, but one sweater, one theater. The war on drugs, it was framed as saving neighborhoods, and in practice, militarized policing, mass incarceration, political optics. Drugs didn't disappear, but what did? Communities did. With the war on terror, post 9/11, fear became fuel, security became religion, privacy got sacrificed like a goat at a ritual ceremony. Drone warfare, surveillance expansion, the Patriot Act, and a whole generation, my generation, conditioned to trade freedom for safety theater. The war on drugs targeted neighborhoods. The war on terror targeted nations and digital identity. Both waged in the name of what? Protection. Both expanded state power like a balloon about to pop. And today, it really looks like it's going to pop. Different villains, same blueprint. Fear converts to policy faster than logic ever will. The cost of control. A distracted society is steerable. A divided one is manageable. A confused one, perfectly governable. Freedom feels infinite like a buffet, but unlimited options without clarity. That's mental fast food, basically. You nibble on everything, digest nothing, and wonder why you feel empty. Power found a cheat code. Don't lock people up, lock their minds into loops. Keep them scrolling, keep them arguing, keep them believing awareness is enough. Control doesn't always look like chains. Sometimes it looks like convenience. Think about how that leads into, taking back your power, or having any power to take back. A real rebellion isn't shouting. Right now it's thinking slowly, and not to say that it's thinking slowly, but it's thinking slowly in a world that's just speeding up. Basically focusing your thought. Master your attention. Focus is the new fortress, or the new self guarding. Talk to people without Wi-Fi, basically. Go outside, touch grass. Scary, might be, I know. Human faces, wild concept, right? Create more than you consume. Every time you create, you punch a glitch into the matrix. Victory isn't overthrowing empires. It's refusing to be programmed by them. You want to take your will. You want to have a return of your will and your willpower against what we're seeing right now. And this century's war isn't guns versus guns. It's will versus algorithm. Reality versus curated reality. Consciousness versus conditioning. You're not powerless unless you accept the script handed to you. Awareness scales, curiosity spreads. Every awakened mind makes the system jitter like bad Wi-Fi, basically. Machines calculate, humans imagine. So, stay human. That's the rebellion right now. If the machines ever rise, they won't send Terminators. They'll send a dopamine grenade, disguised as dances and drama. Skynet dreamt of nudes, but TikTok will finish us with the memes and pajama kick choreography, basically. So, like, comment, subscribe. Not for vanity and metrics, but because this is your mental dojo. Share this with someone who thinks algorithms are just recommendations, and yeah, see you in the next one. Stay awake out there and stay offline as much as you can. Think for yourself. That's what's important. Anyways, this was episode 3 of Guts Clout Carnage. Thank you for viewing. Once again, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And peace.